All right, so this is Daryl Martin from apexinvesting.com, and they're in the elite room today, and we're going through the automation along with the system here. So what I'm going to do on this chart is I'm going to load up the automation template. Let's see here, which TX semi-auto advanced, and then click OK. Give it a second to have a little heart attack, and then it'll come back around to us. There it goes. But as you'll see down here, once it's active, then you'll see two indicators at the bottom. Both of those will be plotting once it's active. It takes up to 3 business days to get active once you submit it. Sometimes it's instant, but it can take up to 3 days. And what it'll do is it'll actually plot an arrow on an X box that's a reversal bar, because we take these boxes with trapped orders inside of them, exhaustion boxes with the trapped orders, and we take them on reversal bars. Now we have different rules we trade, where we have enhanced X boxes, which have basically what's called a paw or a mini magnet. This orange thing is a paw. This white thing is a mini magnet. If that plots on one of them, or is within 2 ticks, then we can take the trade. Okay? Or if it's going with the trend, such as if it's going right here with the deviation reversal indicator, and this was green, then we could take this long. Okay? If it was red, then we could take, a trade short. So now another reason we might be able to take a trade is if there's divergence, such as if this OD number right here was over oscillation detector number, this big number. If it happened to be lower than that number on a further low, or if it happened to be lower to it on a further high, then we'd also have a potential, reversal trade where we could go against the trend. Another thing that we watch out for is we watch out for ranges. So if the market's ranging, we can take trades in ranges, but we don't like to take them in the middle of ranges. And we can take them off of strong walls, but not into walls. That's very dangerous. Like this trade right here would be a very dangerous trade because you're going into a wall level. Okay, and you can notice the walls are printed all the way over to the right. We don't enter trades until at least 9:35, or before 9:25 is fine as well. But that's sort of our dark zone. But you can trade daytime, nighttime, Euro session, Asian session, whatever. All right, so again, we're looking for these arrows, okay? And again, you got range areas coming off of walls. So this trade right here, I would actually take, because we're coming like right out. We came down to almost hit the wall. We got a TX long. I would actually turn off. So what you do is you'd have like your filter on over here, and I got it in, if I had it on, I have it in sim. But you'd hit the, the long, and you'd have this in semi, and you may have your filter on, which would only let it take trades with DR. I'd turn the filter off for the range-bound trade, and I would take the long. Okay? Now this next trade right here, okay, it's coming off a wall, but it's going into a wall. So I would be turning the long off on that trade. I would not take that trade. It may be profitable, it may not be, but I would turn the trade off on that trade because it's going right into a wall. Does that make sense? I like it coming off of a wall, but not going into a wall. So let's see what happens. And that trade would have lost going into the wall. Okay? So now we got another long TX. We actually do have a little bit of a room here. We're getting a little closer to the middle of the range. It's moving up. So we do have room still to take profit on the trade should it continue to rise. Okay? But notice how we're more in the middle of the range. Like we're buying, look what we're buying. We're buying like up here. And this is our range right here. So that's probably not the best trade. It may work out, but it's not the best trade. It went ahead, it went on up to that wall, got attracted to it. And that one was a runner. Now we get another short. Okay. So we got a short. We have 1624 versus 2026. That's right at 80%, which is our max on OD divergence. We're looking closest to 50% or lower as possible, but up to 80%. We're pretty much right at 80%. So we could actually take that OD divergence short, and then 2 bars later, we're profitable on the trade. Okay? Now we get a long coming off a wall. Okay, so I like that. So, but we're also going into 2 mini magnets. I don't like trading into double mini magnets. Okay? So that trade goes, and I don't know what it does next. We'll find out. Now we got a short. We had a long there. We have a short there. Those double mini magnets are a little iffy, right? So if you would have taken the long off the wall, you'd still be in the trade. You definitely wouldn't want to take the short because you're taking it right into the wall right down here. Either way, I don't think you should be in because you got double mini magnets. Comes down, reverses. This trade happens to make its way up. So if you did take the long off the wall, not paying attention to the double mini magnets being in the way, then, because it really only had to break one of them, you would have been profitable in the trade, but you would have avoided that short going into the wall. Okay? Everybody following along so far? Trying to give you a play-by-play analysis of how I look at it. So now we're moving along, waiting for the next TX. We get a TX short. That is an enhanced TX, which means we have a paw printed on a trapped X box on a reversal bar within 2 ticks of another paw line. So again, we got the trapped order, the blue, inside the exhaustion box with a paw line within 2 ticks of another paw line. And that trade is profitable. Okay? We can take ETXs regardless, just in case it's a really insanely strong trend. We don't take them, but you know, most of the time we take the ETX trades. So we're going so far. This is a good review to look at your trades today and maybe how you did and what you were thinking and what you may have missed. Waiting on the next reversal X box. Here we go. Okay, we got a reversal X box. So I'm going to pause for you. What do you think about this reversal X box? What are y'all's thoughts? When you're looking at it, it's against the trend. It's going into a wall. It actually take profit before it hit the wall. So you're okay as far as the wall itself. You take profit before it hit it. But, you know, it's against the trend and really it's sort of the middle of this range-ish area we have going on right here. So I personally don't like it. Again, it may win or lose. I'm not looking for my possibilities. I'm looking for my probabilities. So it moved on up. It would have won. But again, probabilities, not possibilities. I'd always rather wish I have something I don't as have something I wish I didn't. Which is one of my favorite sayings that I say over and over again in trading. But again, it's I'd always rather wish I have something I don't as have something I wish I didn't. All right. So let's look at this one. We're against the trend, right? We're in the middle of the range. The take profit would literally have to be at that wall. We also have something called double clusters. So we have 2 clusters within at least the previous 3 bars. So therefore, we would not take the trade. That is actually a rule. 2 clusters within 3 bars, no trade. And you're glad you didn't because you would have lost on that trade. Now, what about the short? Is the short trade a trade you would be allowed to take? I mean, we got one trade out of the way, which we ideally want to trade within that range to happen after a double cluster. Yeah, we call it an elevator. There's nothing in the way. There's plenty of room. It's with the trend. Okay, so we take that short. It goes 2 bars plus some, and we make a profit. And the automation trader would take any trade on the trapped X boxes where if you have long checked, it'll take a long. If you have short checked, it'll take a short. If you have filter checked, it won't take it if it's against DR. Okay? So now waiting on the next one. And by the way, we're only like 7 minutes into the start of the day, by the way, with all these bars. So by now, have we hit our 3 for 3? Like, have we had 3 winning trades already? Yes. So now without the automation tool, it can be really hard because some of those trades happen really fast. And which also can be psychologically damaging because you'd be like, I could be done 7 minutes into the day and now I got to trade for the next who knows how many hours. It pays for itself. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, if you want to find out about the system, and I'll keep going, but you can find out at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. And that's apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. Get access for free, no credit card, free 30 days, trade room, trade tools, training, everything. And then we also separately have an automation tool you can buy. Use it on anything, Apex or otherwise, but we give you special templates and indicators for Apex if you're an elite member. And that's apexinvesting.com/automate. Okay, so let's just keep going, because maybe you just started, okay? Or maybe you're avoiding the morning craziness, because it was pretty crazy this morning. By crazy, I just mean fast. All right, so we're up here. Is this number about half of that number? I'm not in simulation. I'm in a live account. See it over here. I mean, I could choose the live account if you want me to. It won't matter. So we have oscillation detector divergence, which is one of our rules that we can take a short. We're also taking it off of a wall. That's a bonus, right? So we take that short. Boom, it goes at least 2 bars, and then some. Okay? Remember, and some people may go, why didn't you take that other one? Well, that's not a reversal bar. It has to be on a... Notice all these arrows are pointing on the reversal bars. So this is why you don't just put it on auto and why you don't just hit, like, filter. Because filter would have filtered out that trade. Right? Because it would say, hey, it's against the trend. But OD said, hey, this is one of the rare times you can go against the trend. All right, we got another one. What are we going to do with this one? You can trail the stop. Question is, can you trail the stop of the auto trader? You can. Here's what I do. I use my 921 strategy. I go over here, and then I just move it myself manually. So I just move my stop, and I usually move my take profit first, and then I'll trail my stop. If I have a good reason for trailing. That's a lot of what we're talking about in the live event, making sure there's room, to trail, things like that. So this is going right into a wall. It's going to hit the wall, basically, at its take profit. It's in the middle. Would you say that right there? I mean, you're at the top end of this. Would y'all agree that you can see that range? Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a lot of experience. Can you see a range right there? Like, does everybody see a range where it's bouncing up and down? Like, it's obvious, right? Okay, so let's not take the trade. Again, it may win. I don't care. Every roll of the dice may win. I'm going for the probabilities. I'm not trying to be a gambler. Okay, I'm trying to be a professional trader. Trade one. Who cares? Doesn't matter. You may have a pair of twos. It doesn't mean you hold on to it and go against somebody and go all in, right? So just because something may win doesn't mean you play it. All right, so now we're up here. And we got a short off of a wall. Okay. I like that. We don't have DR divergence. We don't have OD divergence. I know this trade is going to win because the plots are sort of showing a little advance. But should I take the trade going right into a wall like that? No. It's just not a good trade. I'm just going to skip out on it. Win or not win. I'm just going to be patient. All's I need, and this is one of the things we teach you at Apex, if you can consistently knock out 3 trades a day at approximately just 10 ticks, not even counting trailing, you're at a 6-figure income in a matter of like 7 or 8 months, and you're looking at $250,000 a year. Most people, that would change their life, and all they need is 3. But people go for like 5, 10, 20, and they give it back. It's like, just sit back and wait for 3 that follow the rules. So, did it work? It worked. Who cares? Okay, now this one's a little bit different. What do you think about this one? We're still going into a wall, but do we have room to take our profit? It's not an enhanced trade. It's close to an enhanced trade, but it's not enhanced. Because technically an enhanced has to have an existing power mini magnet, ZOI, or institutional block within 2 ticks. I do like the fact that it plotted a paw and mini magnet at the same time. I do like that there's a wall. But what do I not like about this trade? I don't even care that it's against the trend so much, being like under a wall. I don't like the double clusters. 2 clusters within 3 bars. Often that will lead to chop. So I'm without that, I probably would have taken that trade because it's underneath the wall and it could easily be attracted right back down to this wall level again. But I'm not going to trade the double clusters. Okay? I mean, it's like a 50-50 whenever I do that. So we skip the trade. Okay? Now we got another reversal. Now we're going against the trend. We're going with the wall. We got a mini magnet. It's not an ETX, and it's going into a wall again. And all the really details, it feels like there's a lot of details I'm going over. Is it with a trend? Yes or no? I mean, literally write down the word trend. Okay, so let's actually, I'm going to open a notepad. That's going to piss it off because it's on application. All right, we're going to open a notepad up here. We got trend. Yes or no? Filter on, right? We got divergence. Yes or no? Filter off. And by the way, you could have both directions on. If you got divergence, you could have both directions on. Because you'd be going with the trend and you could be going against it, right? So that's the second question we look at. All right, so we have divergence. We got, what? OD is our main divergence. DR is sort of like a secondary divergence. What other questions do we ask ourselves? Let's try to make this as simple as we can. Are there obstructions? Very good. Turn off both directions. Right? So a wall would be an obstruction. So that would go right in that. And the obstruction has to be before the take profit. Right? Which we mark as, we use the bar range indicator. Third level, right? So walls would be part of that. Okay. I would even say clusters. You could almost call clusters obstructions. Would y'all agree with that? Because that's basically saying, hey, don't take a trade. That's what an obstruction is all about, right? In the steps. So are there any clusters or obstructions? All right. What else do we got? We got one other thing. We got range. Little bad. What do y'all think about that? Is there anything else that I'm missing? I mean, it feels like there's a billion details you got to watch for. Is there trend? Is there ODDR divergence? Are there clusters or obstructions? And I'm in a range. I just turn off, if I'm in the middle of a range, I'm not just turning off the filter, I'm just turning long short off. So yeah, the filter, you can turn it on. Like you could say, hey, I'm willing to take a long right now because I got a long DR and it'll only take long DR trades. Or where the DR is green on that bar and the bar before that. Or I can turn it off anytime I want to. Okay. Are there any other questions I have to ask myself? I mean, we pretty much got it right there, don't we? Or like, there has to be more questions because I know I'm making this more complex. There must be other questions. Oh, we got one. There we go. Okay, so let's put that up here. Let's put our obstructions last because we identify our entries first, right? There's one more, and I was waiting for it. ETX. Okay. So filter off. Long, short, on if appropriate. I mean, if the ETX is long and your DR is long, then you don't need to turn the short on, right? So we have 5 things. Is there anything else that you can think of? We can even put the ETX before the range, just because y'all learned that, right out of the gate. Well, instructions, I would go with being news. There's times not to trade, because you turn everything off. So that's good. We can add that in there. Do it like that. Anything else? Dark zone would be... I'm just time not to have it on. Okay, that'd be an obstruction. Okay, if you're in true chop, that would be an obstruction, right? So these are all reasons not to take a trade, and these are what to do when there is a trade. What do y'all think? Does that make it a little easier? Could you have that as a cheat sheet on your desk? And save that? Would y'all like me to put that under the cheat sheets? Does that feel a little less overwhelming, just seeing those 5 things? Trend, OD divergence, ETX, range, am I in a chop dark zone, news, clusters, or obstructions in the way? Okay, so let's save this. We're going to call it the Trapped X Box Cheat Sheet. And for those of you that are in the room, I just dropped it in the room for you. Okay? Okay, I'm waiting. Oh, just wait, Skip. Okay, I thought you meant like you wanted me to wait. So again, when you have a really volatile day, you'll see Xboxes work no matter what. Going into walls, whatever. A lot of times they'll work no matter what. When days are not as volatile, the rules are what's going to save you. Okay? Remember, you have a long-term trading plan to make a 6-figure income. You're here to stay. So it's really hard for traders because the markets aren't always the same every day. One day they'll be, or maybe one week they'll be fast, and you'll feel like an absolute trading god, like you can't lose. And that week, you were sort of right. Okay? But then, the next day, it's just a chop crap a mess, and if you don't have these rules down, it's going to eat your lunch. So that's why it's so important. That's why I stress it, because I know some people are going through this and they're like, why don't we just take every stupid Xbox, man? They win, they win, they win, they win. Okay? Yeah, Ezekiel, he thought he was Zeus on Friday. It was hard not to. I mean, I made 20 grand Friday. I get it, okay? So, and I mean today, 8,000, right? And the day before that, I made over 20. I mean, it's been an amazing couple weeks. But just, I do larger contracts, of course. But if you don't follow the rules, it will eat you alive. And then all that money you make is just going to go poof. So be in it for the long haul, not just in for the short, quick profit, because, man, it can also be a short, quick give away all the profits. All right, we got a long right here. We're with the trend. We're above the level. This is sort of a tricky one, but I mean, personally, I like the trade. And I'm not always right. What do y'all think on this one? I mean, you got a long, you got a mini magnet on it. It's going above a wall. There you go. Good job. I said it was a tricky one. I gave you a clue. Not a reversal bar. There you go. Not a reversal bar. Good. I gotta throw the tricky ones in there for you now and then. Because I know some of y'all take them thinking they're reversal bars and they're not. Okay, good job. Guess it wasn't that tricky. Too many of you know what you're doing. I do that often. I lose it. But no, I like to throw those in because people will like totally take them. And the TA wouldn't take it. That's right, because it knows. So even if you lost it, your TA takes care of you. Now you're here being patient. By the way, this is like a whole 3 minutes of patience. Okay. Now what do you think here? So Chris says no. Why? DR is red. You're against the trend. Let's back up a little bit. You have a wall, but you're on the other side of it. OD doesn't tell you really anything one way or the other. Sort of bouncing off of a range level, though, here, aren't we? Off this wall. I would personally take this. Seeing it as the bottom of a range. I wouldn't be able to take it if I was zoomed out. Sorry, not trying to fast forward there. I'm just trying to zoom out. If I zoomed out like this. Come on. What time are we at? There we are. Nope, we were at a wall. I want to pause and rewind and see what time we were at. So we did that. Yeah, we did that trade. So if you're in a range, DR does not matter. I know that's not the exact spot we were at. I'm trying to find exactly where we were. That was where we were, right there. Okay. So see how we're range bound, like right off this, we're bouncing off of it again. These walls. So I would take the trade. Now, this is more advanced. Probably the hardest part, I'd say, of learning all of this is learning how to identify these ranges. What I do is I have a zoomed in chart and a zoomed out chart so I can help see the ranges a lot easier. Okay? And only one of those will have the automation on it. But I'll have one zoomed in and one zoomed out. But do you see where I see that range? Do you see where I see that wall? And so therefore that would give me the confidence to take the trade. And it would have been, in this case, profitable. So that's when you can go against DR is ranges, and like at the top or bottom of ranges, okay? Or when there's divergence. Okay? Now we got a wall right here. And this, I just consider this like a little breakout of this range. Right here. So we got a wall. And it goes down. Okay, you see that? How we took the trade off the wall? Is that making sense to everybody? Anybody lost? Yes, making sense, or yes, you're lost? Okay, cool. All right, so we're coming on down. We don't have OD divergence, but what do we have? Like, can you take this trade or not? We sort of broke out of a range right now. We're broken down. You have DR divergence. Yes. So like right here. Well, I lost my Harry Potter wand, didn't I? Yeah, making a lower low with a big hill, little hill right there. I would consider that DR divergence. The two hills are the same size. Coming off a mini magnet, I like that. There's enough room to profit, I like that. And I have DR divergence, I like that. Okay. So let's move forward. What about here? Do we take this trade? By the way, we've only went through 30 minutes of the morning. All right, we spent 30 minutes going through 30 minutes. So coming off the wall, that's in our favor. What else is in our favor? DR is in our favor. And we got to set up 4. Star 6 ZOI, which is a short trade. So not just a low volume score, but you got a star 6 ZOI on bar before there, okay? How does it work out? That one doesn't win. Oh, man, it lost. Is that okay? See, one of the things I do is I look at capital as inventory. There's inventory in, there's inventory out. That's not a big deal. At the end of the day, I want there to be more inventory in. But I'm not going to worry about inventory out. I'm going to go to my next trade. I'm going to have some losing trades. That was a great setup. Like, it really was a good setup. It just didn't happen to work. And you got to be okay with that. You got to remember, you're playing a game of not possibilities. That's not the game you should be playing. The game you should be playing is probabilities. If I'm going to win, let's just say I win 80% of my trades, how many am I going to lose? What's my percentage of loss? 20. So if I'm going to win, let's just say I win 90% of my trades, how many am I going to lose? 10. So by definition of trading probability and trading, which is what by definition is uncertainty, you must embrace the fact that you're trading uncertainty. You don't know if this trade will win or lose. You just know that I'm going to put every probability in my favor I can, and I'm going to expect some to lose. Because if I can expect that before it happens, I have a lot less psychological impact on it happening to me. Okay, well, I know that's going to happen. Next trade. Not crap, I lost. And then now you miss out on the next 3 winners, and you start making trading mistakes, and you jack your entire day up. Because you didn't expect to lose. Well, is that even realistic? To not expect to lose? Is it realistic to not expect to have a losing trade? There are many days I don't have losing trades. But do you think I expect to not have them? And do you say, just being real, okay? Do you walk into your trading day expecting not to lose? Just being real. Like, at least emotionally, do you have almost that expectation that you won't lose? If you're honest with yourself. I know the right answer. But, some of us walk in on those days where we just sort of expect not to lose, right? And here's how I can tell you that you expect not to lose. Because it freaks you the blankety blank 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 out when you do. That's how I know you're walking into your day expecting not to lose. And you know what? Freaking out is losing. Losing a trade is not losing, it's part of trading. Freaking out is. Because you didn't set yourself up for proper expectations. You should no more expect not to have losing trades than you should expect to run a business and not have expenses. What's the question you got on that trade, Breck? And by the way, I cover this in 7 hours of in-depth psychological mastery at apexinvesting.com/mind mastery. And anybody who has taken it will tell you it is one of the best, if not the best, courses that we have ever made, period. And it's me taking everything I've learned from working with trading psychologists, for trading psychologists, and mentors, and my own experience, and reading who knows how many books, and putting all of that good and bad and ugly and everything all together, and how to work through it and actually solve it. And again, that's at apexinvesting.com/mind mastery. And I think it's like $300. It'll save you $300 in 3 stupid trades that you'll make in the next week. I've seen it go 3. I've seen it go 4. I've seen it go 5 devs. Probability is very low, but I have seen it do it. The next divergence took long, so you should consider the next DR valid on the same pivot. Not quite sure what you mean. DR went long right here, but there's no reversal trapped Xbox. And you're still in the short trade. Does that solve your question, Brett? We took trade on this divergence to go long. But that's over. I don't keep looking at it. You only consider that divergence valid at the lowest low. You don't keep carrying it forward. Okay? All right, so all right. What do we do here? We got a short. Do we take it? Get some no's. Nope. Nope. It's close to a wall. What else? Against the trend. Okay. Aren't you glad you followed the rules on that one? See, the thing is, we break the rules and we're like, yeah, we're good. When we win, right? And then you break the rules and you're like, dang it, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I'm so stupid. That's why it's good just to follow the rules. Helps out with the ups and downs. So it did have a triple dipper on there, set up one. That was a long trade. That was good. The triple dips where you got 3 apex logos right there, 3 types of divergence happening at one time, and then you get a reversal bar. You buy, 1, 2, done. Just don't do them in really strong trends where there's like 5 of them in a row. I like them more in these little oscillation areas. All right, we got a short. Do we take this short? Are we interested in this short? Yes, why? We got DR divergence. We got OD divergence. Okay. Oh, it worked out. Boom. So I got all these people going, can you make it where it only does enhanced Xbox trades? How many enhanced Xbox trades have we went over this morning? Like 1 or 2? Yeah. I mean, how many trades are you missing out on? No, we don't want to do just enhanced Xbox trades. Okay, we got a long. Do we take it? Cluster doesn't invalidate it. One cluster does not invalidate a trade. It's going into a level, into a wall. So it has an obstruction. It's a very small range. We do have enhanced, which would rule out the trend being an issue. But we're stuck in a really tight range. So you're going to have to make the full length of the range move and get through the wall. So some of y'all are like, I want to take it, but the others are like, you know what, it's probably best just to wait. Is that sort of how you feel? Because I like it because it's enhanced. That gives me more oomph. Woo. Aren't you glad we waited? See that? You had that emotion of wanting to take the trade because it was enhanced. But you see that wall in the way? See that range being really tight? Are you using automation, Terry? I mean, it's coming down here. You get a trapped Xbox. The close of that bar to the close of that bar was about 13 seconds. Can you make a decision in 13 seconds if there's a wall in the way? So there you go. Is that enough time? And it hit the wall to the tick. All right, now I put the range with this wall, but like about right here. See where you come up, down. I want you to have like 3 points. 1, 2. Really, that right there. As soon as I see this and I see it bounce back up, I'm going to count that as the range. It only takes me 3 points to see a range. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I got a range if it comes back up. Okay, but just following that wall rule helped out, didn't it? It's helped us out a couple times. And a couple times we would have made money. But we don't want the 50-50. By the way, we're only 30 minutes into the day. 35. All right, what are we doing right here? We got red. Seeing no's. I'm seeing, there we go. There's several reasons for no. I actually see 3 reasons for a no. All right, we got double clusters. We got a wall. And we're in coil chop. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 4 times. This is the 4th time in a row. So you got literally double clusters, coil chop, and a wall. So the answer is no. I don't care if it works. No. Now we got a long, which is an ETX. It's above the wall. And some of y'all are cheating. See, I'm not even cheating. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would take it. So, there's a lot of room. Where do you think I'd put my stop? And I may lose on this trade. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely put it at least below this mini magnet. And if I don't live dangerously, I'm going to give it 2 more ticks. I'm going to put it below the paw. Boom! It worked. But would it have worked if I put it right behind that initial paw? Now, if you got a bad fill on the trade and it had your stop right there, should you have moved your stop? So, Doug, should you have moved your stop to at least be a tick below the low, if not right below a mini magnet, right? Since you got that long, we're not worried about this short, are we? We're not, so we don't have to worry about that because we're stuck in the long. Yeah, the low initially, but seeing that mini magnet, at least put it below the mini magnet. Like at least a tick below the mini magnet. So that is actually one of the rules I go over when I'm teaching the trades, is when you're next to a level, to put it right behind the level. So a small adjustment there turned a loser into a winner. And a very objective, hopefully I'll see that as a very objective adjustment, not as a Daryl sees it adjustment. Would y'all agree that y'all can see that adjustment behind that mini magnet? Once I'm like just, oh, well, that's Daryl. I see these triple dippers when it's like, da, 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 da. Like, I don't take those. Fast forward. Okay, would y'all say that we're bouncing off of a level here? Yeah, you got an OD divergence. It's basically the exact same low. So I would count that as OD divergence when it's the same low or the same high. Moving the same distance on less volume. And we're at a wall, and we're buying above the wall. So y'all see the OD divergence. We're buying above the wall. We're bouncing off a mini magnet and Paul. So can we take that trade? Yeah, let's take it. All right, trade one. So we've had what? I mean, at least a dozen winning trades so far. We've missed out on maybe half a dozen bad trades. Missed out on about half a dozen good trades. And we took one loss so far. That's not too shabby, is it? And by the way, we hit our 3 like right out of the gate, so we shouldn't have taken that one loss. But if you came in like maybe that was your first trade of the day, you know? All right, what about right here? What do we do on this one? We got a short. It's against the trend. We do not have DR divergence. Oh, we have DR. We have DR divergence for a long short. Okay, so there's DR divergence there. But are we... I'm looking at two things, okay? One, Paul, ZOI, mini magnet. Do y'all see all that? Right there in the way? So that's the number one thing I'm looking at. So essentially a stack. I do like that it has a Paul and mini magnet on it, which gives me a little bit more of an oomph. And the reality is the take profit is right here. So it's right at the top of the ZOI. So it's technically not a stack because the ZOI and mini magnet aren't in my way. I'm just aware of them. Okay, but looking left, one other thing I'm aware of is look at how we sort of did this right here at this exact same level. Y'all see that? Now, if it was going to break out, this would be the ultimate breakout. Because we have, you know, a mini magnet, Nepal, and all that. We don't have OD divergence, but we also don't have DR divergence. Because DR divergence would require making a higher high and a big hill, little hill. But we didn't make a higher high. So there's really nothing beside me going, you know, this might be the breakout, and we got a magnet and Paul, but we're going to run into that. Like, I'm going to talk myself into the trade. If I have to talk myself into it, is it a probability trade or a possibility trade? Yeah, this is a possibility, not a probability. Yeah. Right? If I'm following the rules, it's a probability. If I'm talking myself into it, it's a possibility. It won. Okay, whatever. Next trade. We've had over a dozen so far. What about here? We got a short X box. Came right up to a magnet pretty much and stopped where it stopped before. We got room to go down to that wall. We got red DR. What do y'all think? It's a little chop, but there's room in the chop to take profit. So it'd have to go 1, 2. It'd take profit right there before the magnet. It is having to break a paw on mini magnet, but it does make the room. It has room to make the profit, so it's okay. And I would be tempted actually to put my entry 1 tick below that paw on mini magnet, just as an advanced tip. And it goes right down to that wall. So I would have taken that trade. It was with DR. It had room. We just had a little pullback. And it basically laid trapped orders twice at the same spot, like it was ready to go short. So if you didn't take it, it's okay. I'd rather wish I have something I don't as have something I wish I didn't. But you see why I would have taken it. And most of these, y'all have agreed with me on literally, I think, all but maybe like 1 or 2 of the trades, which is pretty impressive. Y'all are doing really well. Or I'm doing really well agreeing with you, one of the 2. I'll take it either way. All right, we got a long. Do we take it? Why? Got yeses and I got nos. Defend your positions. You got room to take profit. That's true. You only have 1 obstruction. So I wouldn't let that hold me back. It is against the trend. Do we have any kind of divergence? There is DR divergence. We got a lower low, a DR diverging. I wouldn't call that a strong short trend. I'd call it a trend that's going down and constantly making pullbacks. Way to Paul. You definitely got a big hill, little hill. Trade 1. Divergence is powerful. In case you can't see it, this is the lower low right here. And a lower low with a big hill, little hill. So let me make the hill. Come on. My wand is broken. All right. All right. We got a long here. Do we take it or not? It is an enhanced trapped Xbox. So that's in its favor. So it's going against the trend, which we can do an enhanced. We got some nice OD divergence. Yes, definitely. You got OD divergence. You're coming right off of a wall. Take the trade. Now do you see why we don't make the filter always on? Well, we made it a different choice. All right, now we got a short. All these decisions you gotta make as traders. It's like my wife starts asking me to make this. I'm like, I don't want to make any more decisions. I made so many decisions today. Do we take this trade? Enough room to profit. It's short. You say go for it. Is it an ETX? 25. 25. We're a point off. You don't have DR divergence. It's got to be red to red or green to green without anything in between. It is against DR. It is not in the direction of the trend. It is not an enhanced Xbox. It is a trade you should not take. It goes against all the rules. And it washed. Exactly, like I said, multiple triple dippers in a row I don't take. See? We followed the rules. Amazing how that works, isn't it, Carl? All right, we got trapped Xbox. Do we take the trade? I mean, we got a paw on it. Against the trend, no DR, no OD divergence, not an ETX. Right, we got our little cheat sheet over here, right? I wish I could show it. I mean, there's room. There's only one thing in the way, but it didn't follow any of the other rules. Oh wow, is it showing on there now? Oh my gosh, look, we followed the rules and we saved ourselves $100. Doesn't that feel good? I mean, sometimes we follow the rules and we missed out on winners, right? Earlier this morning, there's some good winners we missed out on. Remember when I said when things are just flying, a lot of times, no matter what happens, like it'll work. Okay? But when things get a little choppier and not as just volatile crazy, the rules are what save your bacon. That's why I've told people, like, don't just turn it on and walk away. Don't just think, hey, I'm a trading god because I had a great last week. Keep with the rules. What do we do now? We got a long. Bottom of range. I would take the trade because of the range. Like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're at bottom of a range. I would take it. Because we have room within that range to take profit before that wall. And it is profitable. There you go. That one's... So you're in that trade, so you don't take the second trade. Now you're out. Okay, now are we at the top of the range? This is a good one right here. Yeah, that would have been a no-biter. We're at the top of the, like, are we at the top of the range? Or are we at the more the middle of the range? Okay, look right here. You want to know? Look at where your take profit's going to be. You know you're in the middle when your take profit's going to be, like, at the bottom. So, what do you think I'm saying? Like here, I had some room. Here, I'm in the middle and I don't. That one worked, but that's okay. You know how many we missed out on that lost? Who cares? I don't care if 1-1. As long as I miss out on the losers. The psychological damage of losing trades. That's 10 times the damage of one winning trade. Missed. Alright, what do we got here? This one's interesting. Got a short. What do you think? We'll take this to 11, so we got like 20 more. It's going with the DR. It's technically not going with the DR because the one before it wasn't. You don't have OD divergence. You do have OD building up, as you can see where it's 1382 versus 346. Look at that, Marion. I'm so proud of you. Didn't you just like download it like this weekend? I'd say we're either in a breakout of a range or bottom of a range. I don't know. This is one of those, I don't know. So what do you think I do when I don't know? When I look at it and I just can't tell. Just stay out. Get one, whatever. Okay, what about this one? Got a long, came down with some pretty low volume, bouncing off the mini magnet. It's enhanced TX. You don't have OD divergence. Got to have a lower low with lower OD to have OD divergence. So it's not OD divergence. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. I'm just saying not OD. You don't have DR because it has to be connected and you got a green in between there. We do have room to profit. And profitable. There we go. And again, I like that. That was an enhanced TX trade. Let's go for it. It's above the wall. It's bouncing off of it. Let's go. No obstructions in the way. Yeah. All right, so what in this? What do we got? We got a short. We got... Do we have OD divergence? We do not, but we do have DR divergence. We're making higher highs with low big hill. Sort of, you know, and dropping. That's sort of a... Almost have to zoom to see. We didn't really... We got a little hill right there. So we did have a big hill, little hill. There's our little hill. It's tiny. Okay. So we had divergence. True or false? Big hill, baby hill. Like baby shark. Yes. Trade profitable. All right, we got a long. Can we take it? We do have OD divergence. Our take profit's going to be right before the wall. So we have room. We don't have to make it through that wall. Tune in next week to find out what this trade does. Just kidding. Profitable. So we need like a voting game or something where people can vote on yes or no, get scores. All right. We got a short. Do we take it? This is an interesting one that I'm going to give you a little insight on. You don't really have divergence. You don't have OD. You don't have trend. But let's back up for a second and look at, do you see something that's happening over and over and over and over again? Right there. Let's look at the last 5 bars. What happens on 4 of those last 5? This is something I've personally noticed. This is not a rule. This is a market read. Okay, so this is like an advanced tip. It's bouncing off the wall, but I want you to even back up a little further. What do you see on all those bars? You're getting closer. There you go. Look at all these little trapped X boxes. Going short again and again and again. I've often seen that happen before it breaks. Okay? And obviously, the trade was profitable. Okay? What about this one? What do we got here? Do we take this trade? Did y'all see that Xbox? So what would be the reason to not take this trade? Ah, you got it. There you go. Obstructions. Yeah, you got literally 2 paws and a ZOI in the way. So don't take the trade. And you're glad you followed the rules. And didn't just leave it on auto, like some of you have been doing. All right. That was an hour and a half review. That was like probably 30 plus trades that we went through. We only had 1 loss this morning out of all of those trades. And I don't know. I lost count of how many wins. But does that make it worth going through the rules, using the summary sheet, like seeing it's not as hard as you're making it? It's just like either I'm following the rules or I'm not. Like, There was no reason to have a bad morning this morning if he followed the rules. And that was when it went fast and even when it went slow. Because when it went slow, the rules became... Did y'all notice how when things slowed down, the rules became a lot more important? Like how we started avoiding a lot of... Like in the morning when things were flying, this morning, not every morning, but this morning when they were flying, the trades won. Even in, according to the trades that we said no to take, still won. But when things slowed down, the rules are what saved our butt. Okay? If it's too fast for you to use auto trade, then just don't trade. But you should be able to get fast enough at using long and short and making the decisions. Because the thing is, all you're having to do is go, is it longer, is it shorter, is it off? Do I want my filter on or off? The filter you don't have to turn on. You can have just short on. And then replay it, Terry. Replay it today with the auto trader over and over again till you get fast enough at it. It's like going out and just doing target practice. Where you're working on this, I took my wife, one of our anniversaries. It was real romantic. I did all sorts of cool things for her. One of those was we went out to, I hired some Army Rangers to take her out and teach her how to sharpshoot really fast. And with pistols. And she has this amazing pistol that said I should buy for her. She can shoot 1,000 rounds and her hand won't be sore. And so we went out with that. And part of it was how fast can you load the clips and hit target? Like unload the clip, hit and reload the clip without touching the other clip. And it was just boom, 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 boom. And we practiced that over and over and over again until we could drop 100 rounds in seconds. So, but just practice it. And there was plenty of time for decisions. You're like, well, how much time was there on that one? It's 13 seconds. But you got to narrow down your decisions to that small decision tree. Those 5 things that I posted this morning. So, yeah, I'll post this in the room. I'll post it under the webinar review section. Or not the webinar section, but I guess I can throw it under the webinar section. But I'll show you where I put the reviews. Let's see here. Put them under market reviews. So this will be the latest market review. Maybe I should make it the first one. Because it's the most current. All right, I'll upload the video.